Ready? All right. Hello, everybody. So, Melanie here with Fond du Lac County. We're out here at Dave Simon's farm where soybean harvest is well underway. Dave's partnered with Fond du Lac County and the Fox Wolf Watershed Alliance. He's committed 225 acres of his farmland in the Pipe Creek watershed to the practices of no-till, cover crops, and low-disturbance manure application. The goal of the project is for Dave to be able to share his experience with others as he uses soil health on his fields for 3 years. This partnership was made possible because of a Great Lakes Restoration Grant. So I'm going to turn it over to Zach, Outreach Coordinator with Fond du Lac County, and Dave.
Happy to be here. Sorry for the noise. Just behind us, or behind you, in front of us, the combine's going, harvesting beans. Dave, how has harvest been going so far?
Harvest is excellent, Zach. Probably the best yields we've ever had.
Well, that's exciting. And you said earlier you're about a third of the way through?
Yes, we're about a third done right now.
So as a farmer, this is kind of like Super Bowl time for you, right?
Exactly.
So you're on edge. Even though it's a good time, you're on edge because you want to get things done and beat the weather. You got a lot to do with the small stuff, correct?
Yes, we're trying to get harvested, get the cover crops planted. We're in a time window. All of a sudden we could catch a week of rain again and we'll be out again.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to, help the viewers to get to understand you a little bit in your story. So you've been doing cover crops and no-till for quite a while now. About how long have you been utilizing those practices?
I would say probably for between 5 and 6 years we've been doing it.
And what got you started on that?
What got us started was we produced some silage for an area dairy farmer. And when we were finished taking the silage off, we were finished so early that we could plant another crop into it. The first year we did corn silage, and the second year we did soybeans, and both of them did phenomenal. The ground is soft. It's perfect. It's been perfect condition to plant into, and the yields are very good off of it.
The rye you were talking?
The yield for the rye also was good, but when you can plant a cover crop and you can still pull 18 to 20 ton of corn silage after, it has great payback.
Right. A lot of farmers say that after you plant a cover crop, the ground is just real mellow. It's just like planting into like a pillow or something like that.
It is.
So for this project, we're building off of what you're already doing. And then we're adding another third component, which is the low disturbance manure application.
Yes.
You're not a dairy farmer, correct?
Correct.
But you have a few cows yourself.
We have some beef, yes.
Yeah. So you have some beef cattle. You do soybeans, corn, some winter rye, some wheat, and then anything else?
Alfalfa.
So that's kind of your rotation.
Yes.
So where is all this manure coming from that you're going to be applying?
The manure comes from Lake Breeze Dairy and from J&J Pickert Dairy. We have land in both of their nutrient management plans. We also have some manure management with 3D Dairy, but that's more from the further south area. We're mainly focusing on the Pipe Creek watershed.
Correct. And do you farm in partnership with them? Are they taking your crops? Why are you getting their manure?
We take them corn silage and alfalfa, and any agreement is you have to receive a certain amount of acres of manure back.
Very good. So for the GLOI grant that we're doing over 3 years, we're challenging Dave and Chad here in the Pipe Creek watershed to do these 3 practices: cover crops, no-till, and low disturbance manure injection on 225 acres apiece. So I want to get into maybe the nits and gritty of this to help the viewers understand, why this is so doggone hard to get accomplished. So what type of ground do we have out here typically? I know it varies, but
in the Pipe Creek watershed, we are mainly hard red clay. There are some soft bottoms where there's some brown dirt, but I think it's just washed there over the years. It's very particular. If you get any moisture on it and you work it wet, it turns into stones.
So clay soil sort of picks up on moisture and retains it more than you would say other soils?
Yes, until you turn it over, then it turns into a
So
rock.
that's kind of just the common narrative out here. You can't make no-till work. You got to turn that soil over to...
That was the common belief, and we're starting to see differently. The first year we really noticed it is we no-tilled an alfalfa field. We took an alfalfa field out one spring, and it planted very good, and we had a nice stand. And it kind of took us away from seeing the brown.
What makes it so difficult in this area to get harvest done, get your cover crops planted, and then getting the manure application? Help people understand why that's so hard to do.
It's just the weather. If all of a sudden you get a week of rain, it's going to take 3 to 4 days of very good sun and wind just to get that dry again so we can go back out there. And it's hard because the thing is, then you put them on top of it, and then you're wet for another week or more.
Sure.
And you're supposed to try and plant it. So that's where you guys came in saying that let's try this interseeding and then put the manure over the top and let's see what happens.
Right. So what are you looking forward to learning and maybe innovating around throughout this project?
That we don't make a mess out there. Whenever you work ground wet, it's hard to grow a crop on it. And we're hoping with the cover crop growing and the manure application, maybe it'll change.
Are you thinking about doing any interseeding? Have you played around with that at all?
We're thinking about it. I just have a hard time driving through corn. I hate driving over my plants that are already established.
There might be something we can work together and try to come up with some sort of equipment changes or something to alleviate that anxiety a little bit.
Maybe we should just try it once, right?
Yeah, that would be it. Is there anything else that you would want people to know about the project or anything like that?
Well, if you guys are interested in doing cover crops, just try a small area. Maybe try 10 acres or 15 acres, but make sure you do the whole field. Don't just do the outside or a little strip here, because it's really hard to change if you have part worked and part not. To come in with a sprayer, you're going to be spraying at different times. It's really hard. Try and do a whole field if you can.
Start small, but go all in on that
Yes.
field.
Yes.
Great. With that concludes our first conversation. This is the first year of the project. We're really excited to have Dave with us. We're excited for what he's doing to try to keep the soil in place, keep the manure there. We can grow our live roots, and hopefully there's outcomes beyond conservation through this. Correct? We want to help reduce our fertilizer, hopefully maybe even reduce some herbicides if we can. So we're really excited that we can go beyond just simply conservation here in the Pipe Creek watershed. So with that, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for 2 weeks when we have Chad Tash on for Facebook Live. Take care, everyone.